This is a 10,000 BTU portable AC unit from Rowan Appliance. Now the company did send this unit over for the creation of this video, so let's jump right into it. Now as you can see here, this is a pretty compact device used to cool spaces up to 450 square feet. Now there's a lot of cool features with this AC unit, but it's also really simple to install and use. All right, now let's start off by taking a look at the front of the unit. And as you can see here, we have some louvers that are currently closed. Now these are manually adjustable louvers. There's no automatic opening or shifting of these louvers, but there is a nice little tab here you can simply pull up to adjust the direction of airflow for your liking. Now, the only adjustment is up and down on these front louvers, but you do have quite a range of motion there with these louvers. And then internally, we also have another adjustable set. There's actually two louvers inside that can be adjusted independently. That way you can get a good spread of air from these louvers on the front of the machine. Taking a look at the right side of the unit, all plain here, nothing here other than up at the top, we have a nice handle for carrying or moving this unit around. It is portable. It does have some heft to it, but it is very easy to move, especially because it is outfitted with 4 caster wheels at the bottom. Taking a look here on the left side, again, we have a plain side here. All of our regulatory and warning type of stickers are found on this side. And then at the top, again, we have another handle for moving and adjusting the placement of this cooler. All right, here on the back, we have a lot going on, so we're gonna work our way from the top to the bottom. And first, up top, we have a removable filter here with a nice mesh material. Now, what that's going to do is act as a filter for the air coming into the unit. So you will need to clean this filter off every now and then, and just take a look at the owner's manual to find that exact schedule, but you may need to adjust it depending on where you're utilizing this cooler. Now, to remove that grill, we simply pull on the top here. Snaps off nice and easy. You can run this under some water to get it nice and clean. And inside here, you see the coils for the air conditioner here. You want to make sure that these are protected. We've got a little bit of a fencing here to keep large objects out, but really this is going to be covered up most of the time, so you don't need to worry about damaging those coils on the inside. Snapping this on is a breeze. Just line up the tabs, put it back into place, and you are good to go. All right, now moving on to the middle section of the back of the cooler. We have a couple items here I want to highlight. The first on the left side here, just kind of a funny looking set of holes here. And what I realized it is a way you can store this cable with the cooler. I've got an American style plug here, and that just simply plugs in. You can wrap this cord around the unit if you would like, and that just helps secure the cord to it. Just kind of a handy feature there for storing this when not in use. To the side here, we have a rubber plug holder. That is for when we are using this in the dehumidifier mode. That's going to be your exit port for water and liquid to get out of the unit. That just pushes right back in, nice and easy. And then here on the right side, this is going to be our hot air exhaust. And when we go over the installation steps here, that's where we're going to attach the adapter for the exhaust hose. Now, further down on the unit, we have some additional coils that are covered. There's not a removable filter or anything like that on these. And then all the way at the bottom, we have a drain plug, again, for when this is in use in a dehumidifier mode. All right, now taking a look at the top of the cooler, you can see we have a very simple to understand control panel here. Multiple buttons and options. There's actually also an LCD display hidden beneath this panel. We'll go into more detail on this once we start using the machine. Another nice feature of this cooler is we have the breaker built into the power plug here, and you have a nice reset and test button here. That way you can reset this if you do happen to trip the breaker inside of this plug. In addition to the cooler itself, we of course have all of the accessories needed to install and use it. And first off, we have the owner's manual. Now, included in here are installation instructions as well as operational instructions. Additionally, we have this nice laminated card that gives us some tips and tricks to utilize and troubleshoot any issues you might have with the cooler. And then we have a nice, small, handy remote control. That way you don't have to come directly to the unit to make adjustments. Now, as far as installation hardware goes, they have included everything you need. That includes the adapter for the back of the unit to connect to the exhaust hose. You have the exhaust hose included, And it's really nice because it's kind of that accordion type material. You can expand and shrink it really easily to adjust to your needs. And then we have the exhaust hose adapter that will go into the window placement section. We'll go over that a little bit more here in a bit. We have a drain tube that attaches to the back for when you're using this in dehumidifier mode. And then we have the window insulation bezel here. That's where that hose adapter attaches. And this is the piece that goes into your window to exhaust that hot air from your room. And then we have some included hardware for this slider here. That way you can adjust it and keep it in place. All right, now to get started with installing this cooler, first off, we're going to take the exhaust hose and we're going to expand it out a couple clicks here all the way around. That way we have some threading to work with. Then we're going to take the adapter for the hose and unit, and we're just going to thread this hose into the threads on the back of the adapter. Now this material is a little flimsy, so it might take just a little bit of work to line things up, but once you get it going, it threads in nice and easy just like that. You can see that is now threaded into the adapter. Then we take the adapter, line it up here with the back of the unit, slide that in, and click it into place. Now we have a nice base here to work with. So now we can work on attaching the window side of the hose to the window. All right, now I've gone ahead and expanded those threads out for the exhaust side, and I have my adapter here. Again, we have those same threads on the inside, just as we did on the adapter for the unit itself. And all we're gonna do is just line those up and start rotating and get that threaded into our window adapter. Really nice and easy process here. And that just threads on. And as you can see, we've got that hose now connected through our window adapter, and we're ready to line this up with our window. All right, now I've got my window installation kit here, and this cooler works in windows 27 to 53 inches wide or tall. So I've got a window here that is just going to lift up, and this unit can adjust in size depending on your needs. And we have a nice little piece of hardware here that can be used to tighten this to fit your exact width needs. Now, one thing I do want to note in my installation case, my window is definitely within the range of installation sizes, but as you can see here, the extender partially blocks the cutout for my exhaust. So in smaller window cases, you would want to go ahead and cut off the extension material behind there. That way you are not restricting any of the exhaust heat from getting out of the unit, which could cause damage. All right, now I've got my window open here, and installing this exhaust kit is very easy. We're just going to line it up exactly where we need it. Now, keep in mind that depending on the trim work of your window, you may need to make a couple adjustments on installation placement. In my case, if I put this down inside the frame, my exhaust hole is actually not going to work. So I need to raise it up just a little bit here to make that work. Another tip I would have for this unit is getting some weather striping that you can put on the top and bottom surfaces of this adapter plate. That way you've got a nice tight seal around your window and this exhaust adapter. That's going to keep the hot air outside the unit and the cold air inside the room. Now with this bracket in place, we can simply lower the window to the desired height. And as you can see here, it fits nice and snug with a little bit of adjustment. Again, in my use case, I would need to cut down the extension strip here to fill up the whole width, but this is a super easy installation otherwise. Now, depending on your installation needs, this adapter has a really nice feature, and that is the offset opening of the exhaust port. As you can see here, it is offset from the center of the exhaust hose, and that's going to allow a little better placement depending on your installation needs. So for example, I need to mount it with the offset towards the bottom in my installation case, but some folks may need to spin it over and install with it towards the top of the hose. Now, either way you need to install, the process is very simple and easy. We've got a couple tabs here that are going to simply snap into our exhaust plate on the window, and those just snap right into place. All right, now taking a look at the control panel here on the top of the unit. Starting from the right, we have the power button here, and these are all touch sensitive. So there's no physical buttons, it's just touch sensitive here. So we've got a power button to turn the unit on and off. We have a mode button to cycle between air conditioner mode, fan mode, and dehydration mode. Then we have a speed button here that's going to adjust the speed of the fan. You have a low and high setting. We have a timer here to adjust the time and function here so that you can set a custom amount of time you want this unit to run. We have a lock here that you can implement to make sure that kids aren't adjusting the system without your permission. And then we have a sleep option here that will run the unit in a really nice and quiet mode. And then you have up and down temperature buttons here to adjust the temperature for the unit. And inside here is a nice LCD screen for the unit itself to show the temperature that we are working towards when you're adjusting and the current temperature of the unit when it is in operation. Now, in addition to the touch panel here on the unit itself, we also have the remote control that is included. It does take 2 AAA batteries that are not included with the package, but you do have the same sets of controls here for controlling the operation of the unit. One thing I do like here on the remote that we don't have on the panel, we have a button here to switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit. I wish that would have been here on the panel itself, but I'm glad it is included here on the remote. All right, now I have the cooler all installed and ready to go. I've got my exhaust hose connected to the window. It's attached to the back of the unit and I'm plugged into power. As soon as I turn this power on, it's going to kick on here. So I'm gonna wait just a second to go over that. I'm gonna just show you some of the operations of this. It may get just a little bit loud here depending on the settings that we have going. So let's go ahead and kick that on. As you can see here, we get a red light for power. And the current mode is fan mode. And it's showing us that right now our temperature in the room is 71 degrees. And I can adjust between those modes by pressing this mode button. I'll do that here in just a moment. Here we can adjust the fan speed. Right now it's on low. If I press that, it's going to go to high. And you hear that kick on and push a little more air through the unit. Let's kick that back to low. Here we can use the timer to set an operational time here. We can use the up and down arrows here to adjust our time. Then we have the lock function. We simply hold that down for a few seconds, turns the lock on, gives us the lock indicator light, letting us know that no changes can be made to the unit until it's unlocked. And then we have our sleep option here that's only available when the unit is in active air conditioning mode. All right, now I'm going to switch over to air conditioning mode and we're going to adjust the temperature here down. Right now it's set to 68. We're going to drop this all the way down to the lowest setting of 61 degrees. And in just a second, we will hear that air conditioner compressor kick on within the unit. That does take a little bit for that function to activate, so it's not going to be an instantaneous result in cold air. It's going to continue blowing air through the fan here, but we do have to wait just a bit for that air compressor to kick on. There it goes. I saw the machine shake just a tiny bit with that compressor kicking on, and you can hear that standard sound of a compressor running, and I can already tell that the air coming out of this unit is quite cool. All right, now with air conditioner mode on, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the fan speed to high. And the unit's going to get a little bit louder here, just blowing some additional air in the room. Again, this is a 10,000 BTU unit capable of cooling up to 450 square feet of space. All right, like I mentioned previously, really simple and easy to use, very intuitive interface for interacting with this air conditioner. All right, now if you're looking for some extra cooling with those summer months coming up, I definitely recommend taking a look at this unit from Rowan Appliance. With 10,000 BTUs of cooling capacity for rooms up to 450 square feet, I think this is a great option if you want a simple to install and use cooling solution. Now, as always, I've got a link in the description below if you want to take a look at one of these coolers for yourself.